What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, as y'all all know, Hellblade 2 released. We're not going to talk about the game itself because I've only gotten a couple of hours into it, so I'm not quite ready to talk about it in totality. But I do want to talk about something that is related to Hellblade, which is reviews. And the obvious bias that exists, right? We talk about the Xbox tax all day, right? But the fact is that it exists. And there was I forgot the exact person, it was a female. And they had played Hellblade, the first one, Senua's Sacrifice, right? Gave it a 80, I think it was an 80, something like that. Played this one. You know, they played the other one in 2017, played this one in 2024. Obviously, this one just came out. Gave it a 50 or 60. I don't know, like just diametrically opposed scores, basically. And I'm like, huh? And so the first one, I love this game. Oh my gosh, it's this, that, and the third. Then the second one, it's like, oh my gosh, this game. I'm like, hold up. Now, I've played the first game all the way through, finished it, right? Played the second game, couple of hours, like I said. Now, from what I gather, the second game is superior to the first game in every way, except it's not the first, meaning it's not the first to do the binaural stuff. It's not the first to have the Furies. You know, all those return. And if you know what you're getting into, then you realize what it is. And you realize what the Furies are in terms of the game mechanics and the game progression, if you will. There is no UI. The Furies are the UI. It's audible UI, basically. But anyway, that person, sure, whatever. They're idiots because they're they're flashing their bias, basically, right? Now, Eurogamer. Was it Eurogamer? Yeah, Eurogamer gave it a 5 out of 5. So I was like, oh, that's surprising. They usually don't like Xbox stuff, but they can't deny their graphics scores over there. They like the technical stuff. So, you know, Digital Foundry and all that stuff. So you're looking at it like, whoa, it's the best looking game ever created, basically. But there was a couple of other outlets that gave it. One gave it a 4 out of 4. What was that? Dreamcast guy gave it a 4 out of 5. Well, I don't know if his vote actually counts in Metacritic, but whatever. And a couple of them gave it 5s, 5 out of 10s, and 6 out of 10s and stuff like that. The majority of the scores were in the green, 100s, 90s, 80s. But there was a few outliers that messed up the average, obviously. That always happens, especially to Xbox games. And for no good reason. I mean, some of them said, yeah, I'm going to give it a bad score because Xbox bought them. Xbox acquired Ninja Theory, so that's why they get a bad score. And I'm like, that should automatically disqualify this score because it has nothing to do with the game. It has no basis on it. There's no, I can't even word the words, okay? But you understand what I'm saying. They're not basing it off of the actual game. They're just basing it off of the fact that they hate Microsoft, which is stupid. You shouldn't have a voice then. Anyway, so the score, last time I checked, it was at an 82, I think, Metacritic. And 83 at OpenCritic, or 84, something like that. Honestly, those scores, they matter in a sense, but they don't matter in another sense. Let me explain. They matter in the sense of public perception and casuals. You know, the normies. The normies see, oh my gosh, this game got high ratings, let's go. And then they go buy it and play it. You know, because they want to play the good stuff, or they want to be exposed to good stuff, or they don't want to put in the work to find the good stuff. Let's just say that. They want everybody else to tell them, oh, this is good, you should play it. And they say, okay. And then they go play it. Which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, maybe they're busy. Maybe they got other stuff to do. They don't have time to be searching the internet for, you know, clues and stuff on what game is better and not better and stuff. You know, who knows? But the blatant bias of the media, I mean, they don't care. you know. And this is going into, of course, IGN buying up all of the media. They bought up Digital Foundry. They bought up, was it VGC or so? I can't remember. There's a couple other things. Rock, Paper, Shotgun, I think, as well. Whatever. And, I mean, now it's like, look, it was a Eurogamer. I don't think they got Digital. Well, Digital Foundry's tied into it, so they got Eurogamer. Anyway, I didn't have too much confidence in the video game media to begin with because of IGN, but now that IGN is owning more, then those are taken off the market. They're put into the same pile that IGN occupies. So it is up to us. You know, all these little sites, or all these big sites, let's just say, like IGN, they weren't always big. They didn't start huge and giant. They were small little people like, oh, I'm going to do a Nintendo site. And then it blew up, you know what I'm saying? Destructoid fell apart, but Destructoid was on its way up to the top. But then, you know, Jim Sterling left and went crazy. Max Schofield left, and he's been crazy, but he's the funny crazy. And so I'm like, look, there are plenty of creators, let's just say, that will give the news, and the fact that, like, having a website is antiquated. I don't even know if it's more about having an app, really. And even then, I don't know how, because Twitter and YouTube, they serve all of these purposes. You don't need to have a bespoke website, says the man that has a bespoke website that I don't use, really. I just have it. I have the domain, and I think I did a link tree or something. I had a Google site first, and then, you know, Google, they like to kill everything. So they killed their website stuff. And I was like, uh-oh, wait a second. I had to switch it back. Anyway, I still have my site, electronbandit.com. You can go there if you want to, but I don't have a store or nothing. I'm not selling stuff yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll sell stuff at one point, one day. Who knows? But, you know, the stuff I want to do is not really about making money like that. It's about having fun. You know, if I happen to make some, whatever. But, you know, maybe I'll put a site up and put some artwork or something like that, because I do illustrations. So maybe I'll do that, you know, just for fun. If you want, you know, a piece, oh, there you go, slap it on a t-shirt or get a print or something. You know, stuff like that. Of course, there's going to be music. I'll probably do that for like a Patreon membership thing or something, just to get a song a month. And it's basically a 99-cent Patreon thing. And that's probably the only tier I'll have, because, I mean, I guess I could put a whale tier, $2.99. Ooh. I don't know. It's just a stupid thing. You know, I try not to think about this stuff because it like takes up cycles in my brain. I don't really want to think about, like, how can I make money? It's not about that. It's about having fun, you know? And that's what video games are, right? And so when these video game conglomerates, IGN, media, which is already biased, buys more outlets, what does that do? Like, here's my question. From what I've heard, anecdotally, Sony makes up, was it 40% of IGN's income, advertising income? Sony. That's why they're so pro-Sony, because they don't want to anger their advertisers. It's business, after all, right? So if that's the case, them buying that, whatever the network was that had all these different sites under it, does that deal still apply? Does that deal spread across all the new companies? Not saying that they're going to have 40% in every single one of them, but do they get a piece, or do they get more money from Sony and say, yo, you want 40% across the board? Let's do a new deal. Boop, boop, beep. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I would think Sony would probably go for that, because that's one of their strategies, is to kind of just flood the market and try to seem like you're everywhere, which is it's a good strategy. It's not a bad strategy, but it's not good when you don't have any games. You literally have no games for a year. You had to announce it, because, you know, your fan base would have started going crazy. But now they're distracted by Hellblade's beautiful graphics. Oh my gosh, let me talk about Hellblade for a little bit. Not the total, I don't think I even spoil it when I do talk about it, but let me talk about Hellblade. I played about maybe an hour and a half of it, maybe. Okay, I'll tell you where I got to. I got past the Master Slaver guy. If you know, you know. And then I got to the next one where the dude was tied to the pole. Okay, there you go. And I got past that. And now I'm in some other fight. But anyway, so I'm in my third major fight. I think it's a major fight, but I stopped in the middle of it. I was like, I can't do this right now. So first and foremost, Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 is the most beautiful game this generation. It is the new benchmark. Everybody's been saying it's the new benchmark. It is the new benchmark. If you're gonna say, yo, this is the best looking game, the caveat is, does it look better than Hellblade 2? Because if it doesn't, then it's not the best looking game. So now, it's not unbeknownst to Sony, but it's like, yo, now when they come up with whatever game, Spider-Man 3 and all that stuff, Spider-Man 3 is gonna look like a cartoon compared to Hellblade. I'm just saying, look, they got their own proprietary engine. I forgot what it's called, Insomniac. But they can't do the graphics. They can't do the graphics. They can't do the graphics. Yeah, they can't do the graphics. Mainly because it's an open world game. And it's a different type of game. So you can expect the graphics to be a little bit downgraded. And it's the same with the Horizon games. You know, it looks good because they put a bunch of lights, the hero lights around, and like, oh, look how cool it looks. Look at the camera angle and the shaking and stuff. And oh yeah, the animation's cool too. I mean, all those things are true. But if we're talking about photorealistic, like, yo, this doesn't look like a video game anymore. That we are crossing that. I'm about to say we crossed it with Hellblade 2. Like, Hellblade was good. It was like, okay, but you can still tell it's a video game. This one is like, and here's the funny thing. I'm playing it on a Series X, right? But I'm playing it on a 1080p screen. So I'm not getting the most out of the pixels, but, you know, it's still, you can still look at something 1080p screen and say, wow, that looks real. Because, you know, we've been watching movies and stuff 720, less than that, you know, for a long time. Anyway, Hellblade 2, being the new benchmark, puts a lot of pressure on Sony now. Now Sony, when they come out with their banger, when one of their bangers in their banger category, whether it's whatever is from Naughty Dog, whatever the next, or Corey's next game, even, you know what, even God of War Ragnarok, as good as it looks, and I think that the fantastical nature of the game helps it, you know, got trolls and all this stuff. Of course, I faced off there's a part where, it's not a spoiler, but because they're giants in the game, obviously, from the trailer they showed before. I don't know how many giants, but I saw a giant, and it was creepy as hell. There's a creep fact. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to tell any story stuff, but that giant, I was like, oh, man. And even looking at God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, you could kind of put them all together as one game, basically, because Ragnarok is basically just a long DLC. It looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it doesn't look lifelike. You cannot, like, there's a scene, I've seen it on Twitter where they like broke down the scene and they showed it in the engine, but there's a scene in, I think it's a cutscene, but it's in the games, Hellblade 2, right? And Senua is in the water, and the water's up to her eyes like that, and she's kind of looking off at the distance, and it's just like, you know, no background, it's just the water, and she's like, boop, you know? And, you know, they showed that in the game. I got to that part, and they passed that part. I forgot what the context was with that, but I remember I saw a clip of that on Twitter where they were showing the background, and they were like changing the lighting and stuff, and showing that it was real time. And I saw that. And you can see, like, when you look at her eyes and you see, like, the capillaries and stuff. I was like, yo, you see her eyelashes? I was like, I saw no pixels, son. I'm like, I'm looking for I'm like, where are the pixels? What's going on? How is Xbox doing this? And PlayStation hasn't done it yet. You know why? because they're too busy making PlayStation 4 games and then toy shining it up and fooling y'alls, and charging you more for a PlayStation 4 game. Man, that's messed up. Anyway, like I said, Hellblade 2 is much like the first one, except it's better. Because the first one is like, it has to kind of explain what the game is without explaining what the game is, if that makes sense. You have to kind of go through the journey that Senua is going through and to kind of experience the psychosis that she's going through, and then you can kind of understand what she's going through by experiencing it with her, right? And that's basically the first game. Of course, there's her father, and then her partner, lover, I don't know, boyfriend, whatever, husband. I don't even know if they were married. Anyway, the story of the first one, spoilers, as far as I understand it, is that Senua's village was attacked by Vikings. Now, Senua was having these issues, psychosis and stuff, and she bounced. She said, yo, I'm out. And she left, and she went into the woods or the forest or something to meditate or to try to just be away from everybody and stuff, and try to get her shite together, right? While she was gone, her village got attacked, and they killed everybody except for her dad, who, as I understand it, betrayed her village and basically showed the Vikings the way. And he's like a traitor, basically. But in that attack, they killed her boyfriend, man, husband, whatever. And so she's grieving that. She's carrying his head around, blah, 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 blah. Game ends, and she fights Gaia or some... It's crazy. Anyway, this new game is... Hellblade 2 is obviously a continuation of her journey. I believe it's 2 of 3. I think they're doing another one. I don't know. That's just the rumors. But it's better in every way. I would say that the Furies, the voices in her head, there are 2 of them plus a narrator. So it's interesting because before I didn't really realize that the Furies served a couple of purposes. They serve a purpose of informing the player of certain things. Like there are markers, rune markers, where you can go and then you have what's his name tell you a story about something, and you got to find all of them. I think there's 20 or so. I already missed one, so I got to go back and find it. I hate that. I think I did that in the first one. I missed, oh man, I missed all these. But anyway, they're off the beaten path, and there is like a kind of a marker to let you know, oh, there's one nearby. And then the voices, the Furies will let you know, look, there's something over there. Something's there, you're closer, it'll say all kind of stuff. So that's cool. So the game that has no UI at all uses the Furies as an audible UI, basically. And besides that, it's all visual. Well, besides the audio stuff, it's all visual indicators without it being a dumb button like, oh, press X, press A to attack, or press B to... It doesn't do that. You press pause and the menu pops up and the controller layout is there. So you look and see what you can do, and then you go back and fight and stuff. It's not that difficult. And so, like, for instance, she got the mirror, and the mirror indicates, like, when the mirror flashes or when it glows, then you can do your focus attack, basically. And so it's not that difficult, but it's kind of cool. And the fact that there's no UI is also very cool. And so it's I think people aren't giving it enough credit. Like the people who are super critiquing it, like, oh, it's boring and this and that and the third and blah, 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 walking simulator, blah. Like, first of all, this is not God of War, the first one, or God of War 2, the Jaffe God of Wars. Not even close. It's not even God of War 2018 with all the menus and stuff. There are no menus to go and switch your armor. No, this is not about leveling up your character, because this is about Senua. And Senua is the character, not you. You're just playing through her experience, if you will. This is a story-based game. And the story is about Senua's journey through her psychosis, getting over her, getting better. I'm like I said, I'm only a couple of hours in, so I'm not sure where she lands at the end as far as her psychosis is. But she has, since the last game, she has come to grip with what it is and how to deal with it. And she is, because she's interacting with NPCs now. There's different players. There's the guy on the pole and the other guy, right? The master slave dude, master slaver. And so that alone is a different kind of layer on top of what they did in the last game. The last game was very solitary. There was like nobody around, right? But now you have, I mean, there's instances. There was one fight where there was a whole bunch of people. It was how they did that was very cool. Where your fight, like Senua's battles are one-on-one for the most part. Well, yeah, they are one-on-one, right? Boom, 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 right? You're fighting one dude, and then it's like so chaotic, and how they have done the camera work with the animation and the camera shake and all that stuff is brilliant, and it still even when you're fighting, it still looks like real life. It doesn't look like a video game. Here's one thing I have to say about the animation. I haven't seen a game that has had this smooth of animation blending. It's unparalleled. I'm gonna say it. This is the best animation blending / animation in gaming right now. Graphics, animation, Hellblade 2, best. It better win best graphics, and it better win best lead. It's gonna win a lot at the Keeleys this year. It's gonna win a lot. So there's one part in the beginning when you okay, a little bit of the story, but not really. At the beginning, you're on a ship, you get a shipwreck, you end up on a beach, and you have to climb some walls and stuff, right? So, you press in the direction, you press up to climb, right? So she's climbing, and there's a bespoke, this whole section that she's climbing up, this wall section, it is all bespoke animation. Not like, a climb cycle. No. It goes sideways, up. Everything is totally like custom animation, basically. But you control it, right? So you're like, wait, how does that work? So basically how I think they did it was they animated the whole sequence going up. She climbs up here, she climbs up there, all the hand placements and stuff, and all the breaths and stops. But you are able to control the tempo and the speed. So like you press up and it'll climb like one little boop boop. And if you don't do anything else, she'll just stay there. She won't move. She'll just be like, and you press it again, and then she'll start going again, and then stop again. And at no point did it feel like, oh, the animation's messed up. Oh, I see it blended there. It just feels like natural. It was so like I was just like holding it up at one time, and it was just kind of going, and I said, wait, let me stop, because is this a cutscene, or is this like real? And I stopped, and then she stopped. I was like, okay, and I pressed it up, and then she went up a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of controlling, not totally controlling it, but it was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool how they did that. And there are different places where that happens. I think I like the no UI system that they are doing. I think that for immersion's sake, I think that works really well. And I think they need to do more of that. Like when they do Project Mara, I hope they implement the same type of no UI mechanics, because that would be cool, especially in a modern setting. Like if this lady Melinda, that's her name, right? Wow, I'm forgetting her name. It starts with an M. If she's trapped in a apartment or whatever, and she's going through some stuff, and it's just you in an apartment walking around, opening drawers and stuff and making sandwiches, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know. But anyways, this video is going a little bit too long, but maybe in the next video or the video after that, I'll talk way more in depth about Hellblade, but I gave you all a little taste. I'm going to try to finish it before I actually talk about it, but maybe if it's not the next video, then it might be the next video. You know what I mean? But anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Like, subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below what you think about Hellblade, its graphics if you played it. Excuse me. And these goofy ass medias people's review bombing, basically. You know, I mean, I get it. There's some on the other side that does give it 10 out of 10s and stuff, and I guess the review bombing balances it out in a way, but I don't think it does. I think it does a little bit more damage than, you know, because I think Hellblade should be in the high 80s. It should be like an 89 or something like that. Like an 89 would be perfect. But, you know, that's just me. And I haven't finished it yet, so let's just say tentatively saying it's an 89 right now. We'll see where it goes. Or at least at 85. I would say between 80 and 90, but I would say 85 right now where I'm at, only because I haven't finished the game. So, you know, just to be a little fair. But anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one.